I was thinking about this one recently just because I haven't worn this for ages. I've had this maybe for about a year, and I made the video for it maybe almost a year ago, and then I only put it up a few months ago just because I sort of didn't get round to it. And then I was on, I think, both Notino and Direct Cosmetics or something like that. So a couple of the cheaper discount perfume sites. They both had this. Now, when I posted my video, it seemed to have sold out everywhere, but it's popping up again places, and it's under 20 quid normally for this massive 100ml bottle. So this is Kim Kardashian Pure Honey. This is a super pretty perfume. The notes in this are top notes of freesia, mandarin blossom and red rose, middle notes beeswax, honey, honeysuckle and orchid, base notes coconut, vanilla and musk. Now, honestly, I wish I could have this in a little 30ml bottle, but you can only get it in the 100ml for some reason. It's massive. I don't wear it very often because I don't often get the urge to wear kind of honey perfumes because they obviously are quite sweet. They're quite rich. This is actually very light. It's easy to wear. I initially thought this would be good in like kind of August, you know, like, well, let's say like kind of more autumnal times, you know. I thought as soon as it started moving into autumn, this would be a perfect kind of scent. But actually really nice in springtime. I think it works well in warm weather. It's not very strong. You'd need to, I mean, I don't know because it's so sweet whether I'd want to overspray it, but I definitely would need to reapply this one. Lasts better on clothes and skin, but it's super pretty. Now, I don't want to declutter this, but mainly because I love this bottle. So I have a display nowadays that have some of my bigger bottles that I really love, just to show them off. And this is with those. It's really pretty. I think I get a tiny sense of the coconut and quite a lot of the mandarin, and it's at its sharpest in the top notes. But then it dries down, and there's something about that waxy kind of beeswax honey smell that gives it almost a slightly caramelized smell. So I think the magic of this is definitely in more of the dry down than the actual the first top notes. But it's super pretty. I really like it. I do recommend it. I think for the price, it's a bargain. But as you can see, it takes up a huge amount of space, which can be a little bit annoying. So then, another bottle that does take up quite a bit of space, but am I sad to have 100ml? Probably not. I am sad that this spins around so much, but anyway, there's the Lanvin logo. This is Jeanne by Lanvin, and this is just a lovely, pretty perfume. It very much reminds me, I'm just going to change that so it doesn't look quite so crazy shiny. It reminds me of like a group of notes that are in my favourite all-time perfume that is no longer available. It was my signature scent for like 16 years, which is La Belle Cerucci Liberty Fizz. This is like the kind of musk, raspberry and freesia notes from that perfume. It gives me that same kind of vibe. It's also very similar to, I think of it as like the sister to Modern Princess, because they've got that same freesia, they've got that same musk, but that one is like a red apple perfume and this is like a raspberry perfume to me. It's got blackberry in it as well, but it's kind of bar soapy, but it's light. It's really pretty. The notes are top notes of blackberry, pear and lemon. Middle notes raspberry, peony, rose and freesia. Base notes musk, sandalwood and amber. Now, Fragrantica disagrees with me and they think that the rose and peony are above the freesia in this, whereas I think the freesia is like right up there. In fact, for me, this is raspberry, freesia, musk. Like that's how these go. On Fragrantica, they say raspberry, blackberry, peony, pear, lemon, rose, and then they don't get down to the musk and the freesia till quite a lot lower. But you know, different strokes for different folks. This one, it lasts for actually quite a long time, but it's very light and you do want to overspray it, so you can smell it on yourself for quite a long time, but it's a very, very intimate bubble. It's probably even lighter than Modern Princess, but it's very easy to wear and it's so beautiful. Love Jeanne. I think it's gorgeous. All right, okay, notes for this beast. So I'm not sure if I've shown you that I actually bought a bottle of this. I saw it for a really good price. I think I got it from Health Farm, but I think Notino had this recently for 15 quid, which is even slightly cheaper than I paid. I did have the tester of this and I really liked it, the little carded sample, but I love these bottles. I wanted this for the bottle. This is Green Lover by Lolita Lempica. This is technically supposed to be a male perfume, but I think it's beautiful. I think it's super unisex because it is just so much vanilla in it. It definitely has a vibe, and I wore it to work. I wore it for the whole day because the joy of having the carded sample is I can spray this on in the morning and then I can take that little tiny sample with me to work to top up. It's very unisex. I think there were times where I was like, this is super feminine, and there were times where I was like, smell slightly masculine. I wonder if people think I'm wearing a masculine perfume, but that is purely because of the kind of gin and tonic vibe. So the notes here are top notes of green mandarin and pepper, middle notes gin, mint, juniper berries, base notes Madagascar vanilla and musk. And definitely the vanilla and the gin are the things in this. I do get the mandarin and the mint when I first spray it, but when it dries down it's very vanilla-y, but you never lose that bitter tanning kind of note that you get in like from an actual gin and tonic. And I think this doesn't just smell like gin, it smells like gin and tonic to me. So it's very fresh. It worked really well. I wore it on a warm day and I think it was very, very nice. But if you don't like unisex perfumes, you only like very feminine perfumes, then you probably wouldn't like this. I think if I didn't have this if it wasn't in this bottle, I'd probably just like get a few more samples, you know. But I do love this bottle. This is also in like my special display with my favorite bottles because I just love this bottle. But yeah, it definitely did remind me while wearing it a little bit of well, quite a lot to be honest, of Le Male by Jean Paul Gaultier. It's definitely far more feminine than that perfume, but that one has like a shaving foam accord and it's very vanilla-y, but then it has a few more masculine elements as well. So it's not identical, but it definitely did remind me of it every now and again when I got a sniff of it, but I also really enjoyed wearing it. So yeah, that was an interesting one. Let's get this guy up now. So White Tea by Elizabeth Arden. This is the Eau Fraiche. I did wear this for a day. I didn't wear it in the evening, and that's really because it just wears off so quickly. Like, this does not last. I sprayed it on my hand. I can still smell it a bit. It's really pretty, but I don't think I need it. Like, I just don't think I need it. I would have probably kept it if I had a smaller bottle, but I don't need 100ml of this. It takes up a lot of space. So the actual bottle is gorgeous. I think this is a lovely bottle. I think it might be the nicest white tea bottle. If you can see, it's got this kind of almost looks like an x-ray. So pretty. You can see I've already made a bit of a dent in it just from wearing it during one daytime. You have to massively overspray it. It's very light. It's supposed to be light, and I think this will shine its best in super high heat. But I have so many perfumes that are good for super high heat. Do I need this? Probably not. The notes of this are blood orange, bergamot, mandarin orange and pear in the top. Middle notes, C notes, mahonial, lily of the valley and water lily in the mid notes. Base notes are white woods, musk and tonka bean. It doesn't list having any tea in it, but it does smell like there's some kind of tea or mate, you know, like there's something in here. The votes on this I don't really agree with. The votes are at the top. They've got the C notes, the woody, the white woods, and then the mahonial and the musk. Whereas I think I get all of that when I first spray it. I get the bergamot, definitely, because there's a sharpness to this. I get the sharp white floral, so I get the water lily for sure and the lily of the valley in the top when I first spray it. But the more it dries down, then I start to get the blood orange and then the pear comes through. So the dry down of this is like a quite white tea kind of general smell, but with blood orange and pear and a slight sweetness from that tonka bean. So it's super pretty when it dries down. That's the same with all of the white teas. The magic of them comes in the dry down, and that's when they start to kind of differentiate themselves from each other. It's really pretty, but it's so light. I cannot really smell that I'm wearing this at the moment. It's like it's warm spring moving into summer weather in the UK right now. We've got our bank holiday weekend to celebrate the beginning of summer, and we've had maybe a week of spring weather, and now we're going into flip-flop weather pretty much immediately. We didn't really have a proper spring, which often happens, but Yeah, I mean, I think this will probably be better in high heat, but at the same time, if I have to put my hand up to my face to smell it, I just don't need it. You know, I've got so many tea perfumes, so many hot weather perfumes. I just don't need this one really. So I probably will declutter it, but I do think it's super pretty at the same time. So it's kind of, I don't really like having to do that, but anyway. This one is a classic. Sadly, also it was a limited edition, so I don't know if you could get it anywhere, it will be on eBay. This it is a tester bottle, as you can see, but this is a 170ml huge bottle. The fact I've got a dent in it is kind of miraculous because it's so big. Red apple and chili, love this one. I love this all year round because it's got the chili and it's warm. It's beautiful in like autumn or autumnal weather. It's fabulous at Christmas. It smells like the sweetest, reddest apple, but it's not powdery, it's not dusty, it's still got that crispness, but it's super sweet, juicy, lovely, and then it's got the warming chili. This is like a way nicer version of the Kayali juicy apple or whatever that one's called. This is a more natural smelling, less Jolly Rancher kind of version of that kind of smell. But the chili is slightly vegetal at first, but it just is warm. It smells spicy. You can really smell it. I just love it. I wore that one yesterday, actually, when I was working from home. It is delicious. So good. Honestly, so good. Just trying to... Can you actually see that one? Yeah. All right. So this is one of my favourite Fraiches. Born Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. Also, this is one of my favourite bottles. This is with my other favourite bottles in my display, because I will actually make a little video and show you my display at some point. I just love the colour of this bottle. I love the shape of it. I took the bow off and now I just love it. I don't really like bows on things. So let's see. Notes in this: top notes peony, cassis, mandarin orange. Middle notes freesia, orange blossom, honeysuckle. Base notes cedar, patchouli and caramel. The patchouli is voted as being above the honeysuckle and the caramel. I think if I didn't know there was patchouli in this, I wouldn't recognise it as patchouli. I don't think it smells like the kind of quite strong patchouli that is in the original Lovely. I think there's just a slight fresh greenness here. So I think it's more of a kind of grassy green patchouli than like a muddy one or like a dirty one or a hippie one even. It's very clean, fresh, crisp, this perfume. To me, it's peony and cassis. So it smells like watery blackcurrant juice and peony with a little bit of cedar, and the caramel just stops that peony being too sharp. You know, it just sweetens it, but you wouldn't recognise it as caramel, I don't think at all. I would say this is similar to Éclat d'Arpège and the Le Rive perfume that I was talking about last week, which is the dupe of Éclat d'Arpège. It's got that kind of very slight woodiness that you get in kind of slightly fresh, maybe more sporty perfumes like light blue, but it doesn't. It's like Éclat d'Arpège. It's there, but it doesn't veer over into the excessively woody vibe that I get from light blue. So it smells very feminine still. I wore this a lot. I took the body spray with me to my wedding week, and when I got up in the morning and went for like coffee with my guests in our massive kitchen, or like sat outside in the cool crisp air, you know, the September air, I would wear Born Lovely, and then we would go swimming. So this was like my swimming perfume, and I think if you go to the gym, if you go for runs, this is brilliant. But it's also brilliant in high heat, just as a you smell fresh, clean. It's almost got a fresh laundry smell about it, but not in a kind of soapy laundry way. It's gorgeous. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. This one, I probably will have finished this bottle by summer, but I've got other bottles. I've got one at work, and I've got another one that I bought home from my mum and dad's. It's about the same amount in here. This used to be a signature scent of mine, which is why there's not much left. This is Brocard, Blackcurrant and Tomato Leaf. It's gorgeous. Again, it's another one. I think if you take the Fraiche musk and raspberry from this and you mix it with the blackcurrant and the tomato leaf from this, you're sort of starting to get La Belle Cerise Liberty Fizz, which is like I said, my signature scent that I wore for many years. So I love it. This was also a signature scent for a while, which is why I've really managed to get through this one, because as you can see now I've got like 200 perfumes. It's quite difficult to make a dent in anything. So, oh dear, I just moved my setup. Sorry guys, I just totally kicked my drawers. So this is a Brocard perfume, so it's from Russia, which means it's basically impossible to get nowadays. Hopefully when the sanctions are gone, you guys I used to get this from a trusted seller. I got all of my Brocard perfumes from her on eBay. Hopefully I'll be able to do that again at some point, because I love these Brocard perfumes. The only problem is this doesn't last. It really doesn't last. You have to massively overspray it and you have to keep respraying it, but I love it enough to do that, and it was only about 12 quid, so I don't mind doing that. So this is notes of tomato leaf, blackcurrant, thyme, mint, musk, orange and jasmine. It is heavenly. I also have the blackcurrant and mint version, which has a very similar smell. It's ever so slightly stronger and longer lasting, but it's very, very similar. It's I love these scents of nature perfumes. I'm desperate to get my hand on the wild strawberry one, but unfortunately, like I said, I can't buy anything right now. And that's one of the few that I've not ever been able to get my hands on. I don't know where I just got to with this one, because I had a stock on the hob and I forgot to turn it off, and just set all our fire alarms off, so that just happened. Okay, I can have a massive chunk of this to just cut out where I'm like, and running across the room. Alright, so the whole flat now smells like burnt chicken stock, so that's fun. Alright, let's go on to the next one, because I can't remember where I got to it. So anyway, so I said I was going to wear this one when I was talking last week. I bought this maybe a year ago, and I had it really just for the sake of, remembering childhood. This came out, I'm pretty sure, in the 90s. I can't remember when, but everyone smelled like sunflowers for a few years. Like, this was super, super popular. This and Clinique Happy are things that I remember being very, very popular when I was younger. I think I probably had a bottle of this because I remember the scent that well. I sometimes forget what I had, and then I'll get a sniff of something and I'm like, oh yeah. But you can get these for like 7 quid for 30 ml. I always thought of this as being a very flowery scent, but it's funny smelling it again and actually wearing it. It's quite fruity as well. Because this is called Sunflowers and it came out when I was quite young, I pretty much think of this as being the smell of a sunflower. I don't think that's accurate at all. But in my brain, that's just kind of what sunflowers smell like now. Like, I literally have such a connection to the two. And this smells like sunshine. I mean, it does smell like sun-kissed, pollen-y kind of flowers, like yellow, orange flowers. And I think, that's what I was saying about the Spartem Herbe from L'Occitane, that just has a vibe in it that you're like, okay, I think this smells like pollen, it smells like sunshine, it smells like happiness, all of that. That is what you get with this perfume. But it also very much smells like the 90s. It doesn't smell vintage in a kind of, this was made in the 20s and it's a Chypre and it's got that kind of Chanel-y vibe to it. And it smells a little bit perfumey, but not like massively perfumey. But it definitely doesn't smell modern. So if you like modern perfumes and modern florals, this might not be for you. If you like 90s perfumes, you might like this one. I think the thing is, it's not a massively risky blind buy just because you can get it for so horribly cheap, like crazy cheap. But personally, this gave me the urge to wear one of my other sunshiny florals, my sunshiny fruity florals. And so although I really enjoyed wearing it, I wore it to work and it's great to throw in my bag, this little bottle. It's not something that I would normally reach for. It's not something that I kind of love. It's just something I like to have in my collection just to sniff and just, reminisce, But the notes here is quite a lot because it's from the 90s. Top notes: melon, peach, orange blossom, lemon, mandarin, bergamot and Brazilian rosewood. Middle notes: cyclamen, osmanthus, rose, jasmine, orris root. Base notes: sandalwood, musk, amber, oak moss and cedar. So it's got a lot of melon in it, and I hadn't really thought about that. It's slightly peachy. I think cyclamen and osmanthus are the main florals, but again, in my brain it's like, well, this is just what sunflowers smell like. But the melon's pretty high in this. It has a slight tanginess, I think, is coming from the peach, but I think the actual general scent is flowers and melon. Yeah, and I think it's really pretty. I do think it's really pretty. It's also strong. Like, you don't need to spray much of that on, and it lasted me all day. I didn't need to reapply it until I was leaving work, and I only did a few sprays. I think I did like either side of my neck, my wrists, and like the front of my, I always do the front of my hand for some reason. Like, I think it was literally like 4 sprays. And it lasted all day. That is very unusual for Elizabeth Arden perfumes. Like, well, and I think some of the older ones are still a little bit beastly compared to like modern ones. I mean, this lasts for like 2 hours. It's surprisingly strong, even though it's definitely not as strong as it was in the 90s. I think it's actually still pretty strong. Then, now, I'm not sure if this is a 20ml or a 30ml bottle, but I'm getting through it, as you can see. This is the Bruno Benini, and this is a Woman's Best. I'm just checking to see, has this got a bit dark? Let's see if I can warm this up a little bit, brighten it up. Okay. So this one, I love it. It's such an easy wear. It's really sweet and pretty. I was wearing this throughout the day to work, and then I just kept it on in the evening. Even though I had a shower actually in the evening, and I still wanted to put this on again afterwards. It's so sweet, girly, pretty, light, easy to wear. So this particular one, to me, it's basically just a really stripped down version of Signorina by Salvatore Ferragamo. That's a perfume I couldn't wear because although I love how it actually smells on card and from the bottle, on my skin the patchouli was way too strong, and the pink pepper just absolutely just got so strong on my skin. I couldn't wear it, but I really love the smell. So this one, it has some of the same notes, but it's just much lighter. It's really easy to wear. It's like really uncomplicated, really girly, sweet. You do have to overspray it, which is why I've already got through quite a lot of this just for like a few wears. But it's also one I have the urge to keep respraying just because I really like the smell of it. So top notes: peach, orange, pink, grapefruit. Middle notes: sorbet, pear, rose, pomegranate, blossom. Base notes: panna cotta, wild berries and sandalwood. And for me, in the colder weather, firstly, this was so light in the cold weather that it's not really worth wearing in cold weather. But in the cold weather, I get the panna cotta as the top note, and then I get the kind of berries, and then the rose, then the pear. And if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that on the Bruno Benini site it listed it as a berry sorbet. So it's got a sorbet note separately here, but I think it's a berry sorbet. In this warmer weather, which is definitely a time to wear it, it's definitely stronger, it lasts longer. It still doesn't last very long, but this is a real cheap perfume. This time round, I think the pear is really, really noticeable. So in the warm weather, it smells like pear, berry sorbet and panna cotta and rose. That's kind of the order in which I would put it. But I love it, and I think it's one of my favourite little cheapy kind of sweet perfumes. Because it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. And I think the pear and the berries make it, and that sorbet note, it's like equally sorbet and panna cotta. It's delicious. So I really, really like Woman's Best. I think that's definitely worth having. I actually have 2 bottles because I got the old version of this bottle as well, which is the bottle you see on Fragrantica. They're exactly the same perfume. They don't really smell any different, to be honest, between the old bottle and the new bottle. So you're safe with either one, whatever turns up if you order it, if you want it. Now then, so then classic clean. I've taken to spraying my my bed sheets now that the weather's warming up. I put my my Lush body sprays up before I put the rest of the actual Lush perfume reviews up, purely because I have the Princess Peach in that, and that's a limited edition. I don't know how long that's going to be available at Lush, so I wanted to get that full review of the body sprays up before the rest of them. But I did say in that I spray Twilight on my bed sheets. I love that perfume. It's a lavender heaven, lavender and tonka bean heaven. Now it's getting a bit warmer, I've just started spraying the clean Eau Fraiche I have, which is fresh laundry and lavender. I love it. That's amazing. This is very similar to that, but much sweeter and has like a kind of skin musky kind of smell in it. It's so pretty, but it has that same that lavender note, and it has that same laundry note. I absolutely love it. I know one of my most loyal and lovely viewers, she bought this and she loves it too. She saw the review, she bought it, she let me know, and she loves it too. So it's such a good one. I just got to find the notes because the notes aren't right on Fragrantica. So from the Clean website, top notes bergamot, cardamom, lavender, middle notes mimosa, fresh laundry accord, aquatic blossom, base notes fresh hinoki wood, white musk and heliotrope. I assume the heliotrope is what's giving it that lovely kind of sweetness in the base, because it's definitely got a sweet smell to it. It's also got like the white musk is giving it like a lovely kind of skin musky kind of smell. But yeah, I mean, the laundry and the lavender and the hinoki woods are the things I get the most. That's my, oh my god, my Amazon's popping off as well. It's like, honestly, I'm telling you what, this video, if you knew the effort I'd gone to make this, you would all want to buy me a perfume, because I recorded the whole thing and my microphone didn't work, so I've just taken out that old microphone. I've got a different one I'm trying. Hopefully this works. And then my fire alarm went off in the middle of it, and then now my Amazon is popping off as well. So it's just going to be one of those days. Anyway, I love that. This is, if I didn't say, it's Clean Classic, and it's Simply Clean. So this is the one that I wanted to wear because of sunflowers. So I wore sunflowers to work, and then all I could think of the whole day while I was wearing it is, this reminds me of the 90s, but actually what it makes me want to wear is one of my absolute favourite kind of summer signatures, to be honest, sort of summer and spring. Vera Wang Embrace Marigold and Gardenia. Absolutely love this perfume. It's another one that has that kind of orangey, sunshiny, beautiful smell, and liquid. Yeah, and what I'd realised about this is this gives me the vibe of this Nivea Sun, but without the lotion smell, without the sense of like actually it being a lotion, but it gives me like a fruitier kind of summer on the beach vibe for some reason. There's just something about it. I absolutely love it, and it means that I'm just going to declutter Nivea, because I've realised I don't really get on very well with like a sun lotion smell, and actually body lotions in general. I'm going to make a video of all the perfumes I have that smell like some kind of body lotion or conditioner. I'm probably only going to actually keep one of them. That's why, because I just kind of struggle sometimes. I love the smell of them, but when I wear them, I start to want to take it off me. Like it feels unnatural in some way. It's hard to explain why I just can't quite get along with them, but I think I'm kind of giving up on the general trying to find something that smells like a kind of beachy body lotion or a suntan lotion, because they give me headaches. Like they tend to give me headaches. And because this one I've realised gives me that same kind of vibe, I'm just going to wear this one because I love it, and I've got 2 backup bottles of it. And as you can see, I've actually got a proper dent in this one, which is hard to do when I've got 200 perfumes, so I love it. Now the notes in this are top notes of melon and mango, middle notes marigold, gardenia and orange blossom, base notes cardamom, musk, sandalwood and cedar. It's got a candied sweetness in this, so like I said last time I wore it, it's like melon, tons of marigold, and then it's like there's some kind of like candied mango as well. It's almost like the mango is like all like, you know, the dried mango that's really sweet. So the cardamom gives it a kind of slightly strange plasticky smell, which I think is why it's making me think of Nivea. So it's not got that lotion vibe, which I sometimes find a bit sharp and uncomfortable, but it does, like, it's just so delicious. I can't even explain it. It's a bit of an odd one, but I love it. It's one of my favourites. Now, I had a blind buy and fail that wasn't even a blind buy, because I had a tester of this. I had from the Discovery set, and I really liked it, but that was in winter. I finally bought this because ASOS had a deal on. So this is Kayali Utopia Vanilla Cocoa 21. On the back, it says pear, jasmine, coconut, sandalwood, and vanilla bourbon. And apparently, when this is strong, or at least when it's kind of developed, or maybe just when it's summer or warm weather, all I get is the sandalwood and the vanilla bourbon and a slight powderiness from the coconut. This is a disaster for me. I liked it. I genuinely liked it in cold weather because I really smelt that pear. I thought it smelt quite unusual for something that smells like a bit of a coconutty beachy perfume. It was the only one from that Discovery set that I actually liked. I also absolutely love the rose gold bottle from it. So part of my brain was like, I'll start with this one if I love it, and because it's quite light, I'll probably go through it pretty quickly, and I'll then have an excuse to ask someone to buy me, like as my birthday or Christmas present, a beautiful rose gold bottle of it. I sprayed this out and it smells like Adam Levine for her. Like, it just smells like very sweet sandalwood, and the bourbon vanilla is so strong. I can't smell the pear. I can't smell the fruits in this at all. I can't smell any of the florals particularly. When I sniff it from the bottle, I can smell coconut a little bit, but this is compared to Tom Ford Santal Blanc. On me, Utopia Vanilla Cocoa smells more like Tom Ford Santal Blush. Is it Santal Blush? Let me just have a check on that. Yeah, Santal Blush. Oh, Soleil Blanc, that's what it's compared to. So it's compared to Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. But to me, and on me, it smells like Santal Blanc, which smells a little bit like Adam Levine for her. It just, all I get from it is those base notes. So the notes on Fragrantica say coconut milk, honeysuckle, pear blossom, Italian lemon. Middle notes tuberose, jasmine, sambac, gardenia, ambrette. Base notes bourbon, vanilla, sandalwood, musk and patchouli. And I get a slightly powdery, almost desiccated coconut in the top. And then sandalwood, musk, vanilla, and I can actually smell the patchouli now. So this is useless to me. I'm never going to wear this. I mean, this smells like perfumes that I would wear in dead of winter, and I've already got Adam Levine. I've got a massive bottle of it, and I've got other woody perfumes. I actually got rid of my dupe for Santal Blush because it was so much like For Her by Adam Levine, so I gave that to my friend for Christmas, and actually it smelled amazing on her, to be honest. It smelled better on her than it did on me, like by a mile. But yeah, so I don't like this. I'm really sad about it. It was a complete disaster. So there you go. It's like, no. How do I manage to have a fail when it's not even a blind buy? It's just incredible. So anyway, Kayali, the only one I like is still citrus, and the only reason I like citrus is because it smells like another perfume. YSL, in love again. So there you go. Now, because of that special offer, I also got this because I just thought it sounded amazing. But now I know what I know about the lotiony smell. Now I've kind of really clicked about that. This isn't going to be any good for me, but it is, however, Sol de Janeiro Rio Radiance. It turns out this is the only Sol de Janeiro that I actually like, from what I've smelled anyway. This one, it said a solar tuberose and coconut milk, and I was like, that sounds like it's going to be incredible. It really does, and it is lovely. This one isn't on Fragrantica yet, but this, I believe, is a repackaging and made permanent version of the one from last year in the pink bottle called Tan Lines. So I think that one's on Fragrantica, so you can look at the reviews and stuff on there. But from the actual website, this is top notes, late de coco and warm sand. Mid notes are solar tuberose and ylang ylang. Dry down is creamy vanilla and amber essence. This is very pretty. It's really, really nice. You definitely get a vibe for tuberose, but I think maybe the tuberose and the ylang ylang are pretty equal in this. You do get a little bit of that late cocoa, but it's not massively overly sweet like a lot of the others. And I just get a lot of the warm sand. The problem is, I can tell from spraying it, it smells nice on my skin. It's really pretty. That salty sand, and it does smell like a lotion. It just starts to make me feel like I'm getting a headache. I think I really struggle. This is like a double whammy of struggling because it's the salt and the lotion. It's got both of the things that sometimes give me a headache. But it's so pretty. I really like this one. If you don't have that same problem, and you like the idea of like a tuberosy perfume that's beachy, so pretty. I think it's lovely. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to keep it just because I really like the smell of it, but I don't need it. And they're not actually, considering they're body sprays, they don't last very long and they're not very strong. Like, I mean, I don't need this. I'm probably going to pass it on. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to sell the white tea, probably going to get rid of this one, probably going to get rid of this one. This I'm just keeping just for memories, you know. So that was my week. I'm going to now check this video. I hope it hasn't gone absolutely mental. Because, yeah, I mean, my luck today has not been great. So my poor husband out there trying to help me turn all the blooming alarms off. Anyway, I hope everyone had a nice week. Tell me what you've been wearing. Tell me your opinions on any of these and whether you think I'm mad or not. And fingers crossed you won't be listening to this at like 70% on your volume or whatever. Bye.